Welcome back to the Beauty Doctrine. My name is Nadia Ben-Shakroun, your functional beauty expert, founder of the Beauty Doctrine, and that is where beauty meets health. Today, I'll be talking about a topic that affects so many of us, and yet the majority go about it the wrong way. We start going to minoxidil, which is very temporary, or we go for hair growth shampoos, which are just a scam. A shampoo cannot grow your hair, and overlook the root causes. If you don't uncover the root cause of that hair loss, whether it's stress or diet or some other factor, lifestyle factor, you cannot fix it. So at the Beauty Doctrine, we're getting to the root cause. I will make a separate video about hair loss that is due to stress, but today's video is specific to diet. So I'm going to cover foods that promote hair loss and foods that promote hair growth. Let's get started. And as always, all the science is in the description below. I am also including guides now. I've been working so hard on these guides so you guys can have one place to shop for whatever concern that you may have. I created hyperpigmentation guides, acne guide, age reversal guide, and so on and so forth. And I'm still working on many. And so I will link up the related guide for this video, which is the hair care guide. So make sure to check it out. So as far as foods that promote hair loss, the very first culprit is dairy. Studies show that certain dairy products, especially whole milk and full fat cheeses, can raise levels of DHT, which is a hormone derived from testosterone. Elevated DHT levels have been linked to hair follicle shrinkage, especially in people prone to androgenic alopecia or pattern hair loss. The number 2 enemy for your hair is sugar. High sugar intake causes spikes in insulin and androgens, which also elevate DHT levels. Not only that, sugar increases systemic inflammation in the body, which is harmful to hair follicles and your skin, by the way. Additionally, excessive sugar intake can lead to overall systemic inflammation, which affects the hair follicle to a great degree, makes those hair strands smaller. A study, which I will link up below, showed that chronic inflammation damages hair follicle cells, potentially leading to higher rates of their shedding. All right, let's get to number 3, and that's very much related to number 2, so the results will be very similar, and that's a food group, carbohydrates. And so those are your pastas, your breads, rice, cakes, donuts, all of that stuff. They are devoid of the nutrients that your body needs to function optimally. And of course, your hair is part of that. And it seems in modern days now, we're suffering from all these consequences of our diets. Hair thinning is very common because we are overfed and undernourished. Anytime we're filling up on all that bulk, on all of those carbohydrates, we're just stuffing the body, but our gut bacteria is still starving. We're not getting the nutrients that are going to help repair those cells, that are going to help promote that hair growth or good skin and so on and so forth. So think of those nutrients as fertilizer for your hair. Number 4 is alcohol. So alcohol not only dehydrates the body, but it also impairs the absorption of nutrients like zinc, biotin, iron, which are essential to hair growth. Diets are really terrible these days. They're deficient and they're high in carbohydrates, like I said before, and sugars and all these things that damage the hair follicle. Also, many of us are drinking alcohol on a regular basis, which hinders the absorption of any nutrients that we're consuming. Not only that, alcohol can lead to stress on the liver and hormone dysregulation, which is another factor in promoting hair loss. So let's talk about number 5. So this might be surprising to some of you. A lot of us are actively trying to better our diet choices, but the issue is even with seemingly good choices, there are some issues. And I am referring to fish in this case. I can't even remember the last time I consumed tuna, for example, because it's really high in mercury. And so that's number 5, mercury high fish like swordfish and tuna, we want to skip those completely because the mercury in that type of fish competes with zinc. So it hinders that absorption of zinc, which is essential not only to collagen synthesis, but also to hair growth. So just like alcohol, mercury is a toxin for the body that hinders mineral absorption. I'm gonna cover one last class of foods that damage our hair and prevent hair growth before I get to the good part, the foods that promote it. And so number 6 is greasy foods. Wild fat is phenomenal. I love fat. I consume a lot of fatty fish and fatty foods every single day because that's just super important to brain function, to skin function, as well as to inflammation and so many things. But it's important to select the right types of fats, and those are omega-3 fatty acids and other fats like olive oil that are rich in polyphenols and such. But if you're consuming a diet that's high in bad fats like dairy, cheeses, seed oils, and essentially any type of fried foods, that will increase that sebum in the scalp, which clogs up the hair follicle, potentially leading to hair shedding. Not to mention the high levels of inflammation that's linked to a diet that's high in processed foods and bad fats. I put together a guide for good fats and bad fats, so look for it in the description below. Now, let's get to the good part, and that is foods that promote hair growth. All right, I'm very excited to talk about foods that promote hair growth. The very first one is going to be fatty fish that's anti-inflammatory. So that's the key word there. So any fish that's really high in omega-3 fatty acids has that anti-inflammatory factor, in addition to the fact that it's going to increase that scalp hydration and hair elasticity. All of those are essential components to not only growing hair, but maintaining healthy, supple, and silky hair. Excellent examples of fatty fish are salmon and sardines, but they have to be wild, not farmed fish. If you're getting farmed salmon, like what most restaurants serve, that's actually going to achieve the opposite effect. It is a bad fish for you. It is grown in unhealthy environments versus wild fish like Alaskan wild salmon, for example. It is swimming in the oceans, or wild sardines, which are small fish, so they don't have long enough life to absorb a lot of mercury from the ocean. So for me personally, I limit my fish intake to those two. There are other fish that are moderately healthy, like wild mackerel, but I personally prefer the salmon and the sardines because they have the really high amounts of omega-3 fatty acids and a lot of other benefits. If you've suffered from hair loss, you've heard of this ingredient, and that's biotin. Biotin shampoo, biotin conditioner, biotin supplements, biotin everywhere. Well, biotin is a vitamin B, and it's very, very essential to hair growth. However, if you get in any type of biotin supplement, it's not going to help you grow hair unless you are deficient in biotin. So any excess biotin is not going to help you. And it's also important to get it from diet, and the best source of biotin is simply eggs. So if you get organic pasture-raised eggs, they are a phenomenal source of not only biotin, but omega-3 fatty acids, lots of other vitamins, as well as protein. So instead of going for a biotin supplement or waste your money on topical hair products with biotin, just consume eggs every day. Remember, we talked about zinc before, so we want that zinc in the diet on a daily basis, and you can get that from nuts and seeds. So that's our third essential food to growing your hair. Incorporating those nuts and seeds in your diet serve two major functions. The first one is supporting that hair follicle by giving it that raw material for growth, which is zinc. And then the second one is antioxidants. They're very high in antioxidants, which protects from that free radical damage that leads to oxidation and damage of the hair follicle. Next, and I think that's number 4, that's a superfood that is packed in nutrients that will give you your vitamin C, vitamin A, K, and so many more that are just super boosters for hair growth. And those are dark leafy greens. I adore arugula. I consume it every single day almost. Kale is another one, although you want to watch the high amount of oxalates in kale, so it's preferably consumed cooked or steamed rather than raw. But in general, greens can be extremely helpful. Bottom line, green leafy vegetables are nutrient packed and are essential for the health of your skin. And remember, scalp is part of your skin, and so that's going to help lead to healthier function of that scalp, leading to healthier hair growth. Plus, those greens are high in chlorophyll and lots of detoxifying agents. Most of those toxins that are making their way into our bodies through our modern diet are going to be escorted out of the body through dark leafy vegetables, which are highly detoxifying and supportive of your liver function. And believe me, that is so important. The less toxins in the body, the better function. Number 5 are berries and citrus fruits, or any fruits that are high in vitamin C. So kiwis, plums are also super high in vitamin C. Get your fruits in season, and that is essential to collagen synthesis, which again, we have to think about the scalp as it's skin on our body, and so whatever benefits the skin is going to benefit the scalp and maintain that density, that health, that overall function and cell repair. Plus, that vitamin C serves as a powerful antioxidant to fight off those free radicals that are constantly attacking our skin, damaging it and aging it. And I know I say skin, but again, I'm referring to the scalp, and you got to have a healthy scalp for you to have that environment for healthy hair growth. And talking about healthy skin, you got to have that vitamin A in there. So the next type of food is beta carotene. So that is carrots, sweet potatoes, or anything that's orange. Even certain leafy greens can have beta carotene, which converts into vitamin A, and that is retinol. It's going to help maintain that healthy skin, scalp, and hair growth. I actually have been seeing a lot of videos on social media recently where pharmacists are recommending combining minoxidil with vitamin A, and it's for this very reason. Now that you know which foods to avoid and which ones to add to your plate, make sure to subscribe and also comment hair so I can send you my guide to healthier hair. It's going to have products, supplements, diet, everything you need to maintain those healthy locks. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, healthy hair, healthy skin start on the inside. So make healthy choices and stay tuned for more science-backed healthy tips for beauty from the inside out and the outside in. Until the next video, be well, be safe, be beautiful. Take care.